Wanting to live on this earth is just something I was told I don't get to experience because I have severe untreatable borderline personality and major depression. And then magically overnight, all of this drastically reduces, which 25 years of psychotherapy and 15 years of psychotropic drugs couldn't pull off, because I find out I'm actually autistic. So those unstable, intense relationships that are full of conflict, now that I know that I think extremely literally and have a strong sense of justice, and the reason people don't understand my point of view is because we have whole ass different neurotypes, magically my conflict's reduced. That unstable self-image, they'd say, Jessica, your personality is broken. That's why in social situations you try to take on and mirror other people's personalities because you don't know who you are. No, I know exactly who I am. I'm someone with autism, so those social situations don't come natural to me. So I'm scripting and masking during them because I don't know I'm autistic, so I can't be myself. I have to try and be like you. Rapid mood changes. Why are sunglasses and earplugs help with that one? Jessica, you're sitting at my desk crying and then all of a sudden you're singing or you're dancing. Yeah, or talking in an accent, or skipping, or I used to do cartwheels because I'm bored. I'm stimming. I'm trying to entertain myself because you're fucking not. Rapid mood changes? Yeah, you think I'm angry when I start passionately talking about a subject really intensely and loudly because you're not taking my words at face value. I'm just excited. You call that rapid mood changes? I call that you have a passion deficiency, okay? Fear of abandonment, I like being alone because I'm autistic, okay? Do I have rejection sensitivity that you're misinterpreting for fear of abandonment? Or 24/7 I feel like people are rejecting me, couldn't figure out why? I'm autistic. They're autistic. That's that tension I was experiencing. And now that I can put my finger on it, I don't feel like an endless hole. You know what I mean? Not knowing I was autistic was like jumping out of a plane and just free falling into darkness. And people are like, oh, you chronically feel empty. Now that I've landed at the bottom, no, babe, I know exactly where the fuck we are. I wasn't feeling empty. I was free falling while your ass was standing on the ground. And now I don't have this, which I was convinced was a permanent feature of my brain that wasn't even that bad and that everybody has, okay? Now that I don't have this, I can confirm for all of y'all, everyone lives like, who doesn't have this, their life is like a feather. And everyone who has this is a 10,000 pound boulder. And the feathers look at the boulders and go, why are they acting like they're heavy? Now that I don't have this, my physical health has improved drastically because I don't feel like I'm 10,000 pounds anymore. I am experiencing way more problems in my body now that my mental health has improved because I have the ability to move it and to experience what is happening in my body because I don't feel like a 10,000 pound boulder mentally. Impulsive and dangerous behavior, yeah, duh. I didn't know how to calm down. People were telling me that there should be no reason that I'm not fucking calm, so this was the only way I could figure out how to pull it off because nobody gave me autistic coping skills, okay? I'm still working on that one. Anger management, imagine me, like 15 years old, all of a sudden I'm screaming bloody murder and I take every belonging in my bedroom and I throw it out of my bedroom and create a whole fucking pile of furniture and shit outside my bedroom just so I can slam the door and sit in the middle of a dark, empty room. That's not anger management, babe. I was over fucking stimulated and I needed a weighted blanket and a damn blackout tent. Paranoid thoughts? What are the paranoid thoughts? People think I'm weird. Well, guess what, bitch? It's not paranoid, it's fucking true, okay? And do I have complex post-traumatic stress disorder? Yeah, bro. And because fucked up shit has happened to me. And a lot of it is because I did not know that I had autism and they thought this was my personality. And part of the problem is I would go to people who specialized in BPD because my case was too complex. I was beyond people's scope of practice. I was too high risk. So then they were just engaging in confirmation bias. I saw a guy who had a PhD in BPD, a doctorate of BPD, okay? He wrote in my report, this is not a BPD symptom. He wrote, Jessica would be perceived as cold and socially pragmatic by her peers. That's an autism thing, bro. Other people perceiving me as blunt to the point, not doing the niceties, not doing the fucking small talk. Like, I'm just really straight to the point, and people can perceive that as rude. I don't put a facial expression on my face, and I don't realize it. Like, I think I'm emoting what I feel on the inside, but apparently it doesn't show, and I know that because I'm on camera 24/7. So I see it. And why am I on camera 24/7? Because I have autism. So I feel like I'm being perceived 24/7 anyway. So that's why I put a fucking camera there, because then it makes sense. And on a BPD assessment, it comes back that I have severe BPD because part of the assessment is them determining if you're dramatic and extreme and you exaggerate. So if you look at all my reports, they'll ask questions where it's like never, sometimes, maybe, always, whatever. I answer those questions yes or no. My answers are always on the outside. It's either I always or never. Like there's no in between because I'm analytical in my mind. I don't understand other people's scales of how they perceive things. So they're perceiving that as me being dramatic and extreme and exaggerative, when in actuality, that's me being in my mind, analytical and pragmatic, because I'm not answering the question in the way that you're asking it because I'm interpreting it literally. But so many people who specialize in BPD are only working with fucking BPD patients because they're trying to save people from dying. But that means they're not learning about fucking autism and pulling that in to their BPD patients. Because, dude, like, I've been in how many rounds of dialectical behavioral therapy, and so many girls, like, are not getting better. They're like, oh, her behavior is socially inappropriate. We need to pull her from the group because she asks inappropriate questions. Really? Why is she asking inappropriate questions? You think she wants a rise out of you? She's trying to fucking, like, initiate conflict? Or does she just actually not understand that that's inappropriate? Because that's been my problem. Another thing about BPD patients, the most likely patient to sue a professional is a BPD patient. That's why there's so much bias against BPD patients, because the stigma of this condition is that it's basically a write-off disorder, and it's like, there's nothing we can do. These are the chicks that this is the outcome. That's the stigma of it. But when so many people who have diagnosed borderline personality disorder are actually autistic, it is giving them trauma to be thinking that they have a personality disorder and walking around in the world trying to use coping skills for a personality disorder when you actually are autistic. Like, you will drive yourself insane and you will destroy your self-image because it's not working and you think it's a personal failure. So yeah, I should have sued like 1 billion doctors. They're like, oh, BPD patients are more likely to fucking sue doctors. No, doctors are more likely to abuse BPD patients or people that they perceive as having BPD. Like, oh my God, literally give me everyone. If anyone has BPD and has a problem, I just want to fucking talk to them, okay? Because like, and this is why I fucking tried to go to university for like psychology, and I had to drop out multiple times because I just kept getting sick and teachers were fighting me so hard on my disability accommodations. Because like, I was in a treatment center for 6 fucking months in an institution, bro. Okay? And you want to know why I got better when I was in there? Because I wasn't allowed to leave the institution. So I wasn't walking anywhere. And I saw the way that every one of the staff were fucking pissing all the kids off and like preventing them from being able to implement coping strategies and stuff, like just the authority problem. And I would help all the kids and they would like use me at times and be like, can you help us in this situation? Like, thank you, blah, blah, blah. And then other times would be like, you need to back the fuck up. Like, you don't know, you can't, you're just a child, Jessica. And I'd be like, yeah, except I know how to do it better than you. So what are you doing? Like, there were so many fucking things in that, like, there would always be escalations, and I know how to de-escalate situations when people are freaking the fuck out, because I freak the fuck out! It's so interesting for me as someone who has fucking autism. I was the one that was like sitting my principal down and being, hey, when you walk up to a kid that you know is a fucking risk of punching you in the face, you cannot walk up to them standing above them like this. That's not appropriate body language unless you're trying to, like, you have instigated violence in that situation. He's gonna catch a charge and it's gonna be your fault because of your body language. How are you not aware of your body language? Which is so interesting now because it's like, I had to be hyper aware of these things and I still wasn't pulling it off correctly. I would read books on body language and persuasion and relationships and psychology and fucking like, I would go to a party and I would be sitting in the back corner just analyzing people, and someone would come sit with me and I would start like profiling the people in the room. And the thing that scares me is people were in my comment sections. I was probably told that I had autism like 5,000 times before I really fucking did my research, and I was like, oh my God, they're not kidding. Like, I thought I was just getting bullied. And same with EAS, like it took me a while before I really was like, really? So for all the people out there who only ever have 1 or 2 people in their life be like, hey, maybe you're autistic, if that at all, maybe they just come across one video. If I have thousands of people sending me messages detailing why they think I'm autistic and how I should get help and blah, 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 because I have the privilege of having an audience, people who don't have a fucking, how the fuck are y'all getting diagnosed? What the fuck? One of the biggest issues with treating borderline personality disorder is I was not treating pathological demand avoidance, which is where I just constantly, I've always explained it to psychologists, it's like I have a teenager inside my body that's just arguing with me. Anytime I'm like, I need to brush my teeth, it's like, fuck you, bitch, I don't have to do anything you say. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I can do whatever the fuck I want. So not treating that, it didn't matter how many mindfulness exercises I fucking did to calm myself down, I still wasn't able to go brush my damn teeth. And I don't even have a formal autism diagnosis. Literally just reading a book on how autism works has, like, I've always been asking psychologists, I need you to write like a recipe for how I'm supposed to live my life. And they said there isn't one. Yeah, I found it. It's called A Book on Autism.